Hello mis amores and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having an amazing day, and today it's Christmas time. We're celebrating Christmas with pop culture. Well, in movies, on Netflix. I'm actually really nervous for this video because it's something totally different to what I've ever done. All I know is that I've been trying to film this video for 3 hours now, but it's been so loud here that I wasn't able to. Taco, this is not the energy we need right now because it's Christmas time and everything is perfect and happy and great. And I've got the Christmas tree behind me, so that means we're in a great mood. Therefore, in this video, we're gonna talk a lot about Christmas movies. I'm gonna give you a top 10 of the best Christmas movies on Netflix. Some of them should not be on the best list, but I have watched them and they're still on this list. I think it's time for us to move because this isn't working. Goodbye, Christmas tree. I really did not want to lose the Christmas tree in the background, but I guess I had no choice, so we are here in front of a white wall now. But that shall not ruin our Christmas mood, our Christmas spirit. We're still in the mood. I'm actually not really in the mood, but Christmas movies actually always help me when I'm not in the mood. Or let me rephrase that. Whenever I watch Christmas movies, life is really testing me right now. Whenever I watch Christmas movies or whenever I listen to Christmas music, these are the only times that I feel some sort of Christmas spirit, because I usually do not feel that, and whenever the music stops or the movie ends, that feeling is gone. Which I think has to do with the over-romanticization of Christmas in Christmas movies and, you know, just any Christmas-themed media. That is part of what I really enjoy about them. Now, I already said one of the reasons I like Christmas movies, and I don't know, I always feel a bit ashamed when I say that, but like, I don't love them, but I kind of do enjoy watching them because Christmas movies are the greatest escape for me. Like, there is no other movie I could watch where I'm so far from reality that I really have to turn off my brain, shut it off, just completely no longer be Vincent and watch it. Because if I still had some brain function, then I wouldn't be able to watch them because they're so cheesy and so romantic most of the time and over the top, technically awful, but because my brain is like dead, I really enjoy them. And also, usually Christmas movies have snow or are set in a winter landscape or winter scenery, and I love that. Which brings me to another point. What I don't like about Christmas movies, there are a lot of things I don't like about Christmas movies. Whenever the movie is not set in a winter location, as in when there's no snow involved, I don't want it. I don't want a beachy Christmas in Australia, and I know this is not open to newness, but this is not why I watch Christmas movies. I watch Christmas movies to get exactly the dream version of Christmas, and for me that involves snow, so when there's no snow then I don't want it. Oh, I also hate stories about royals, princesses, princes. Where does this correlation between royalty and Christmas come from? It probably makes a lot of sense why there would be this connection, but I don't want it. So now that you're up to date with all of the things I like and hate about Christmas movies, I think we can get started with my list. And funnily enough, today on my For You page on TikTok, I found this TikTok and it was just so fitting and it's so funny.
Anna lived in the city. You work so hard all year long, Anna. As your best friend, it's my duty to tell you, you need a break. Fine, I'll go home. Hillmark Movie presents Anna! Oh, honey! Mom, Dad! A story about coming home for the holidays. We're glad you're back, Anna. So am I, Mrs. Perkins. Anna? Anna Brown? Cliff? You haven't changed since high school, except you're even more stunning. Wanna go back to her secret place? Last one there is cold loser. Now she's falling in love with her hometown all over again. I always thought I was meant to live in the city until I realized where my real home is. Right here. Then stay, Anna.
Like, how accurate is that? Number 10. And number 10 is the worst Christmas movie I've watched so far on Netflix. Christmas Inheritance. I've got my notes here. So the protagonist is the daughter of like this really rich family, and on a Christmas party, I think, I don't even know. She embarrasses that family and she's just not really, you know, amazing. Because she's really spoiled and yada yada. We get the gist. But because she wants to prove her father and herself probably as well that she has what it takes to become the new CEO of the company. Obviously, she lives in New York, and in order to prove it, she's got to go to this remote and little town somewhere in Wintertown.
I need you to deliver the Christmas letters to Uncle Zeke. See where it all began.
Of course, she has a fiance, a really rich fiance, and like a respectable man. Of course, as soon as she arrives in, oh, I think it's Snow Falls, she meets a new man's, and
need a cap?
He's obviously all about family values and like different values in life.
Tradition, friendship, and love. Those are the most important things.
You know, you get the gist, and you also know how it ends. That's just what I hate about it. It is the most typical plotline, and I'm just really done with it by now. So I definitely call this the ultimate Christmas movie, and this is not a good thing. But on top of that, the acting is really, really bad. Music choices, also not great. I did not have a good feeling watching this. I really had to mentally skip through everything, and it was just not a pleasant moment of my life. Maybe it's the atmosphere of Christmas movies that just make every actor 10 times worse. Really don't have much else to say about it, so let's move on. Number 9. I think this is the biggest Christmas movie on Netflix. I've watched 2 of the 3 parts, and it's Princess Switch. This is a very Disney plotline. The protagonist or the protagonists are all played by Vanessa Hudgens, so you kind of get the gist of the movie already when I say the name. I feel like Princess Switch we've done on Disney, and we've done it better than in this movie. What is it about? So Vanessa Hudgens, one of her characters, is a successful baker in like a town in America, I don't even know. And then for a baking competition, she is invited by the royalty of some, I think, I don't know, kingdom.
The royal family of Belgravia.
Of course, it's this really wintry and beautiful Christmas scenery. Anyway, she goes there with her best friend, Amance, and his daughter. And then at some point, she randomly runs into, I think, the princess? I don't even know anymore who it is. Who has a fiance, I believe, who I don't think she's in love with. And obviously, they look exactly alike. And it's like, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Oh my god, you look like me.
What? You look like me.
Oh, it's so crazy. And yeah, I don't know, I just didn't like anything about it except that it was set in a snowy landscape, but the fact that it was about royals was just really off-throwing. I liked the baking part. Very predictable, which is part of the charm of Christmas movies, yeah, but seeing as though it did not really have a good starting point for my personal liking, I needed something else, some season in there, you know? Really would not recommend watching this. Don't want to waste more time talking about bad movies, so let's move on to, a slightly better one. Which is called Christmas with a View. I actually don't think this is a Netflix movie, as in like a Netflix production, but yeah, it's still on Netflix Germany, so I would assume it's in other countries as well. It's basically about a chef, and also a very famous chef. So it starts out with, oh, I don't even think she's a chef. I think she's a waitress. She works in this hotel restaurant, I think, that has a nice view. Obviously. She looks super sweet. The acting overall is pretty good.
I wasn't eavesdropping.
Anyway, plot. We first get to see the male protagonist through the female protagonist watching the television competition of finding the best chef among famous other chefs. Obviously, he won. And then, on the same day that show aired, he randomly appeared in this hotel or restaurant thingy where she just finished off work and they run into each other. Magically, he starts, you know, working in that restaurant.
I've hired a new head chef. He's a huge talent, Shane Rourke.
It might have been the reason he came there. I think we know where this goes, right?
Dinner would be great.
Great.
For some reason, I kind of thought it was cute. It was a little bit more original with like the chef cooking situation, being at the center of everything, and I don't know why I kind of enjoyed it. I did not like the male protagonist all too much, but the female was kind of cute. You know what, maybe I don't remember this movie all too much anymore, but I do remember that I didn't mind watching it, so it wasn't like awful, like the first movie that I've talked about. But I think we should swiftly move on to better ones, as in number 7, which is Holiday with Emma Roberts and a male actor that I don't know. Actually, but most importantly, Jessica Capshaw, who plays Arizona Robbins in Grey's Anatomy, and I like her so much, so that made me really enjoy this movie. What is it about, you ask? I'll tell you. So it's about Emma Roberts' character. She's single on Christmas and all throughout the year. I think she's just broken up with a boyfriend.
Try being the only single person left in your family.
Well, everyone's sad, she's sad. Family is like, oh no, you're sad, now you're lonely again. And she feels so sad, just sad. She has this aunt who finds someone new for every Christmas or every Easter, just every family gathering.
Here's my holiday.
What?
A date solely for the holiday. No commitment.
Anyway, she starts talking to the male protagonist, yada yada. They happen to meet the Santa Claus, who was her aunt's date.
That's what I need for New Year's Eve.
They become each other's holiday. You also know where this one goes, right? This was an enjoyable watch. I needed a little bit more snow. But I was fine with that actually, because it did feel kind of Christmassy. I think it was more on the rom-com side than on the rom-com Christmas side. So it could have easily been a Valentine's Day movie. So that was what I didn't really love all too much about it. Yeah, but other than that, it was an enjoyable watch. I liked the accent of the male protagonist because I think he was Australian. Other than that, I didn't care for him at all. Emma Roberts was okay. I really enjoyed Jessica Capshaw, obviously.
You like him. He likes you. These are not real problems.
That's about it. Let's move on to number 6, Holiday Rush. This is the most different holiday movie I've got on this list. It's not your typical rom-com movie because, yes, there is romance, but it's not at the center of the plot. It's more so about, I think, family and what matters most in life, yada yada yada, but also like work and stuff. It's about, I don't know his name anymore, even though I've only recently watched this movie, but the actor plays in A Million Little Things and I really love that show, even though I have never finished it. Is it still on? Anyway, him, he's a super famous and super successful radio host, but he loses his job because the radio station wants to go in a different direction.
So that's it, we're off there.
It's hard on everybody. I mean, not me, because I'm cashing in. Big time.
So they're sad.
Thought I made it. Thought I built him a life.
And they go from rich to being poor. And that is most awful for the kids because they're really spoiled.
We're moving back into our old house. What?
There are 5 of us. That is a whole mess of people in that tiny house.
Let's face it, we've gotten a little
bougie.
I don't know, they behave so horribly. It took me a while to really understand the plot because it was just about the kids being super spoiled and super awful. And obviously then there's some romance that also creates some tension within the family. Eventually it's Christmas. I like this. I think it played in LA, so we didn't get any snow, which I didn't like. Because it was like about this radio host thingy, we had these really weird mixes and remixes of Christmas songs, which I also didn't appreciate too much. I'm not all too traditional when it comes to Christmas songs. I like the newer songs more so than the older ones. These were just really weird versions. They had some sort of weird beat and I didn't appreciate that all too much. But I don't know, for some reason it was still an enjoyable watch. So I think you would enjoy it. I'd really rather talk about number 5, which I've watched like a week or 2 ago, and it was a really random watch. I actually really liked it for some reason. It's called Let It Snow. It's about this small town in snow, and it's about a couple of teenagers that live there and just experience the time around Christmas. It's not really about Christmas, really. It's just about snow. There's this narrator who may or may not be a character in the movie as well, which was very obvious, but they made this big reveal in the end, which I was like, oh, that was a reveal? I thought that was obvious. There are just these little stories that are kind of connected, like a couple of people meeting, coming of age, breakups, friendship, sort of on the verge of collapsing. Collapse? And I think the main focus is on two people. A famous musician, a guy who randomly takes the train and bumps into this girl from that town. He tries to hide because he's obviously the super famous guy, and they get to know each other, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cute. The story time is about 24 hours. We really just witness one day. It's nice. It's just really escaping and just very cute, but also a bit dark. It has like this weird moody film, which I've also never had in a Christmas movie, because again, it's probably not really a Christmas movie. I think you guys should watch this. Moving on to number 4. I don't know why this is number 4. I feel like this should be number 5. I'm not sure about number 4 or 5, apparently. Yeah, why was it number 4? Number 4, or number 5, I'm still not sure, is Love Hard. I've watched this 2 weeks ago with a friend. Naomi watched like the last 10 minutes of it and absolutely hated it. It is about Nina Dobrev's character, who works for, I think, a newspaper, online magazine, I think. She writes a lot of articles about her dating life, or unsuccessful dating life.
Dating? You're married?
And then she swipes right on this guy from far away, I believe. It's this cute guy, they get along really well, but they never see each other. So when she surprisingly flies to visit him, of course it would turn out that the man's is not the man's who the man said he was.
Are over.
It's this nerdy guy who lives in the basement of his parents' house. He started pretending to be someone else out of the city because the person in the photos actually exists. So obviously Nina Dobrev's character, is that how you pronounce her name? Wants to get to know the real person behind the photos, and maybe you also know where this one goes. If we're speaking of cheesy and predictable Christmas movies. I don't even know why I put this in number 4. I think it really shouldn't be. Maybe number 5. Just really liked watching it, because I took the afternoon off, I watched it with my friend, and it was just, I could relax. And then obviously she flies from LA into this little town, which was very Christmassy and nicely decorated and stuff. You know, I'm a sucker for that, as I've said. Nina Dobrev was doing Nina Dobrev stuff. I mean, she's a good actress, but she was also very Vampire Diaries-ish. It's just hard not to see her as Elena Gilbert. Elena Gilbert? I feel like she was able to play more characters in that show than in this movie. I mean, obviously she didn't have to play multiple characters, but it was just very close to it. I feel like Elena, maybe? For a Christmas movie, it was nice to watch. But let's just talk about the top 3, because now it's getting exciting. Number 3, I've only watched this Saturday with Naomi, actually.
In your top 3?
Yeah, there are a couple of reasons.
Okay, the one guy.
So let's just talk about the plot first. Wait, I actually took notes for this one, even though I've just watched it a couple of days ago, which is stupid. Single All the Way is about a gay man's coming home from Christmas. He lives in LA, is what I wrote down. So basically, he's the single one in the family, and all of his family wants him to finally have a boyfriend, to bring someone home.
And every year, I have this problem they all have to solve.
And he's just kind of sick of all of the questions, like, when will you find the one? Who's the one? Did you find the one? Are you in a relationship now? Yada, yada, yada. Before he comes home, he's so happy because he thought to have found someone he wanted to bring home, because that man's also said he wants to go home with him. Then it turns out that his roommate finds his man's cheating, or not cheating, he actually has a wife. I mean, it is cheating then. He cheated with the protagonist, I guess. At home, he already announced that he had a surprise, so he's like, I don't know what to do.
I think you should come home with me. We can pretend we fell in love after all these years. All right.
And they just do Christmassy things. His mother actually tries to set him up with another gay guy from his hometown.
I was thinking we could grab a cup of coffee.
So that's just kind of the plot. I think you can already tell where this one goes as well, which I say to every movie because it is a Christmas movie. I actually disliked a lot of things about this movie. So I'm also surprised that it made it to top 3. I'm pretty sure it's just the gay privilege. This is the first movie I've watched that, you know, deals with a gay romance at the center of it. That might be the only reason I really liked it, but I also like the best friend. He seemed so nice, and it also helped that he looked really good. We don't factor in the looks of actors. What I disliked about it, first off, I did not like the main actor, so the protagonist. His character was annoying, the acting wasn't really great. Why was he the center? It could have been the best friend. The second thing I disliked was that the romantic couple had no chemistry at all. I did not see sparks fly, as Taylor Swift once wrote an entire album about. What? Her best album, by the way. I just don't understand why the family was so obsessed with this guy's love life.
People who look at each other like that are not just friends.
You can also be happy single. Ever thought of that? It's like...
a single person.
Yeah, yes. That's not even it though. They dedicated so much of their time to find a partner for him. So why I enjoyed this movie, I don't know. I think it was just the gay stuff. Maybe because it was the first Christmas movie I've ever watched with Naomi. That might have been it as well.
Yes.
Let's just move on to number 2. I don't even know anymore. Speaking of Vampire Diaries, I mean, it's been a while since we talked about Vampire Diaries. Oh no, actually it has. Anyway, the holiday calendar. My favorite character from the Vampire Diaries is the protagonist. Yes, I love him so much. So the protagonist is Cat Graham. Alright, so what is it about?
New music day?
Turn it off! Naomi! The protagonist is a photographer, and she gets an advent calendar from her granddad. It's actually from her dead grandmother, but she's dead. And on the first day of Christmas, no, that's not the first day of Christmas, it's the first day of December, it magically opens and out come some boots. It turns out that whatever is in the advent calendar kind of predicts what happens to her on that day. So for example, Boots, her best friend who just moved back to town, you know, best friend. Oh, what's his name?
They're gonna be together in the end.
In real life.
Damon.
He's also a singer, but I've forgotten. No. Yes. From all of his travels, he brings home some boots for her, and he gives them to her on the 1st of December.
This is for you.
Pair of boots? The calendar gave me boots. It's crazy, right?
And it's just a really nice story, honestly. Obviously, she meets someone else as well, and then something else happens in the end. It was very cute cast. The acting was okay for a Christmas movie, like kind of good, maybe. I just really like Cat Graham's. But that being said, she also has another Christmas movie, but that one is like beachy themed, and so I never watched that one for obvious reasons. Yeah, predictability just can't be a factor anymore, and so it's definitely worth a watch. Go watch it. Support Cat Graham, because she was not supported in Vampire Diaries. It is time for number 1. I've forgotten the plot of number 1, but I really enjoyed and liked number 1, which is also not the typical Christmas movie that I've been talking about. Number 1 I watched last year, with Naomi as well, actually. Number 1 is Klaus. Klaus is an animated movie. It is basically about the origin story of Santa Claus. I don't know if it's the actual origin story of the real Santa Claus. This man works at a post office in a city, but he was not doing a great job, I don't think, and so he had to become the new head postman thingy in this really scary looking city. The city was actually divided in like 2 parts that both hated each other, and there was a lot of rivalry there, but the post office was for both of them. I don't want to give too much away, to be honest. It's this really sweet and sometimes actually a bit scary, because the animation is a bit scary, like the faces and just the figures in general. It's just a little bit eerie, but it's just such a nice and wholesome watch. If I had watched it on my own, I would have turned it off after like 20 minutes, but I'm so glad that I didn't watch it on my own, because now I've witnessed and watched the entire movie, and I'm so happy that I did, because it really is such a great movie, and it's definitely the number 1 Christmas movie on Netflix. And that's it. We've got our top 10, you guys. Definitely let me know what your guys' favorite Christmas movie is. Also, if you enjoy enjoy these kind of videos because I can make other top 10s. What do you want to know? Christmas songs? Christmas albums? And not just Christmas related. But that being said, it's time to end this top 10 video. So for that reason, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Y entonces, nos vemos la próxima vez. Y bye!